how we're gonna start? We're gonna start with a spoken word. Yeah.
So you have failed to understand that there is no culture older than this, our humanity. And you fail to understand that my humanity comes first before my sexuality, religion, gender, or where I come from. So I say, come to me. Listen to me. See, this place that we live is all but an atmosphere. So we will live in our skins, true to who we are, because this is who we are. This is all that life has to offer for us. So I say, beat the drums, let's dance. So you have failed to understand who I am. So I am depressed in my skin, but how do I explain myself to a world that's not willing to listen to me? So I wrote this poem, held it in my heart. It's a poem about depression. It's a poem about me being denied who I am. So I say, listen to me, world. Listen to me in the skin of my flesh. I am not living full to my potentials because you have raped away my dignity like a yesterday's garbage. Make me feel I am as tiny as a poor man's freedom. Say my truth is ugly and I am not worthy of being loved. You have unsynchronized the symphony of my believing with my becoming. Tears in my food, blood on my street. See, what is the 21st century's definition for humanity and acceptance?
Yes, today the talk that we are having is about that pain. The experiences we have as the queer black community is about that pain. That is what we are going to talk about tonight. Ik wil eigenlijk openen met de vraag te stellen. En even kijken ook naar iedereen. Naar een ervaring die jullie hebben meegemaakt. Die diepe indruk op jullie heeft achtergelaten. En waarvan jullie zeggen, nou, dit is het moment dat ik mijn verklaring aflegde. Ik werd niet geloofd. Ik voelde mij niet serieus genomen. Het werd gebagatelliseerd. Of ik werd vanuit mijn verklaring racistisch bejegend. Of gediscrimineerd.
Ja, dus het gaat over discriminatie op... ik ga het hebben over discriminatie op de werkvloer. En het is heel erg subtiel wat ik heb meegemaakt. Ik heb ook heel lang nagedacht van gezocht naar situaties, naar gewoon duidelijke, bewijsbare situaties. Die ben ik niet echt tegengekomen. Alhoewel ik wel kan stellen dat ik denk ik wel wekelijks, misschien wel dagelijks, subtiele microaggression spot. En bij mij was het, ik werkte als reïntegratieconsulent, waarbij ik mensen die een uitkering hadden probeerde te empoweren om gewoon weer aan het werk te gaan. En ik had een functioneringsgesprek met 2 witte vrouwen. En dat was een beetje, ik weet niet, het voelde niet fijn. De manier waarop ze dingen zeiden tegen mij, dat ik dacht van, ik voel iets, maar ik kan het niet.
De vinger erop leggen.
Ja. Zeiden zoiets als, waarom kleed je je zoals je je kleedt? Dat was 1. Waarom spreek je soms in een andere taal dan Nederlands met je cliënten? Waarom lukt het je niet of motiveer je klanten niet om vroeg op te staan om een of andere lousy baan in Gouda aan te nemen? En dit ging over een biculturele moeder van 3 kinderen die allemaal naar de lagere school gingen. En zij moest, ik weet niet meer, rond een uur of 4 of 5 in Gouda zijn. Dus ik zat te denken, dat gaat nooit lukken. Ik werd regelmatig aangesproken op mijn, ik weet niet, I guess, niet-Nederlandse attitude of zo, I don't know. Iemand zei mij van, nou ja, misschien komt het wel omdat je heel menselijk bent en je probeert af te stemmen of je stemt af op wie je voor je hebt en dat werkt. Wij hadden elke vrijdag een soort van, het leek wel op een corporate ding, dat je elke vrijdag stond je met z'n allen in een kring en dan ging je kijken, moest je vertellen wat je targets waren. Nou, ik stond regelmatig in die kring en ik had regelmatig goede targets. Maar ik denk dat dat komt door hoe ik me presenteerde en hoe ik ben. En dat, ja, misschien werd dat niet zo geaccepteerd. Dat is eigenlijk een voorbeeld waarin ik me niet lekker voelde. Het duurde ook niet lang dat ik daar ben weggegaan. Het waren 2 mensen in een leidinggevende functie. En ja, ik had op dat moment niet de kracht om daar tegenin te gaan. Ik had niet echt allies, zeg maar.
Most of my trouble started when I was about 17 years old, when I was forced to leave my community because I was exposed by my twin brother that I was gay. And after that, I've been moving from city to city from I was 17 up until 25 when I came here. I can remember one drastic incident that happened to me in a place called Montego Bay in Jamaica, where I rented an apartment in Jamaica would say rich people area, people who are wealthy. Even though I could not afford those kind of places for long, those are the places that were safe enough for me. And what happened to me was so tragic because I'm running from violence and trying to find a safe zone when trouble was right at my door. The lady that I rented an apartment from, she has a son and a next lady that there's some form of family. And we moved very close, me and the 2 ladies, but the son was a bit, what you'd say now, he was a bit aggressive towards me because in Jamaica, they don't expect boys to be feminine, and I used to color my hair in red, and I'm also an Indian, so I look more petite and soft, so he and his friends always teasing me, saying that I'm gay and stuff. One night, as I leave work, because I was a cosmetologist, I used to do nails, makeup, and hair. One night after I leave work and I was coming home, I passed a street party that they have on the road. And after I passed there, I hear they calling, Batiman. Batiman means gay in Jamaica. So I didn't pay them any mind, I continued walking home. And as soon as I reached my home and about to open the door, I just heard a lot of stone throwing my door, and I have to bend behind the wall so that any of them will catch me. But I think about 2 or 3 catch me in my hand. I pulled the door and I went inside, and I closed the door, and I think that I was safe because I'm inside now. About 12 o'clock that night, I saw the outside light turn off, and I knew right away that that was trouble. So I turned off my room light and I go in the closet, and then I heard the door kick off and they were throwing bottle and stone inside. And if I wasn't in the closet, I would have died because it was a very small room with only bathroom and the closet. So there was nowhere really to hide. If I wasn't in the closet, I would have died. After the incident take place and the ladies who rent me the place come down, they weren't on my side, they were on their son's side because they didn't want me to go to the police station and I wanted to report it. When I called the police, police come and take the statement. A lot of residents came out their house and come over, and it was a big uproar, and everybody was on the young man's side because they didn't want anything to happen to the young man, but nobody was considerate about that I could have lost my life that night. And that is one of my stories that I have to live with actually every day. And I saw it on the internet and everywhere that in Holland we are free and stuff, so I usually just go out, be myself, behave how I want to behave because I think I'm free. But there was this one day where me and my friend was in Zola Park playing music and dancing, and a group of guys came over and turned off the music, and we turned it back on, and they started to attack us with stones, and some of them have baton and stuff, and we had to call the police, and that was very traumatizing for me, and I was scared to go out. I even stopped going to school because of that incident, because I now have this fear and anxiety that I could be walking and somebody can just identify who I am and hurt me. And I've been attacked more than one time since I've been here in the Netherlands. And coming from Jamaica, where I experienced so much violence, and coming here and think that I would be free and I'm still not free, it drives a lot of fear inside of me, and it comes along with also discrimination because I'm black also. Right now I have a scar on the side of my neck that somebody tried to cut my head off in Jamaica. So there are so much incidents I have, and when something happened to me here, then it brings back all those bad memories from Jamaica, like everything started happening over again in my head.
And still till this day, trans people are not safe. And also, you are the stories you are telling let us know that still, also in Holland, it's not a safe space. And in the next part, we're going to talk about what we can do as a community to create more safety. So, thank you very much for sharing.
Administratie, oké, werd aangenomen. En eigenlijk vanaf dag 1 kon ik niks meer goeds doen in de ogen van de leidinggevende. Ik bedoel, ik werd regelmatig met matje groepen van collega's zijn bang voor je Harvey, ze durven je niet te benaderen. Dus ik zeg zo van, god prima, maar wie zijn die gasten dan? Of die collega's dan? Ja, dat zegt wel niet, want we kennen jou. Ik zeg, jullie kennen mij, hoe dan? Dus het ging altijd maar over mijn houding. Maar over mijn werk kon ze niet zeggen, want ik was natuurlijk de beste van de klas. Maar ja, als je al een tijdje bij de dienst werkt, ken je de materie wel. Maar het ging altijd maar over je houding. Dus ik had zoiets van, maar toen de tijd was, nou, laten we zeggen 2000, had ik niet in de gaten van dat het om discriminatie ging. Tot een Nederlandse collega van mij, een vrouw, waar ik hulp mee was, die zei, Harvey, het gaat helemaal niet om jouw werk. Zie je dat niet dan? Het gaat om andere dingen. Toen pas zijn mijn ogen geopend van dat het gaat niet dan zozeer om jouw kwaliteiten, maar om je kleur dan. Oké, en sinds die tijd ben ik dan meer gaan opletten van God. Maar van huis uit ben ik niet opgevoed door mijn moeder van, je wordt gediscrimineerd, je moet je 2 keer harder inzetten. Tenminste, zo ben ik niet opgevoed van huis uit, dus ik had het niet meegekregen. Maar ik begrijp best wel als mensen op de werkvloer problemen hebben met je huiskleur of met seksualiteit en zo on.
At some point in my life, I was like, you know what, social work, helping people, being in a room with other people who want to help other people, that's going to be amazing, that's going to be one super accepting space. And then I got there, and well, I'm had a fucking career, I mean, that's just in my essence. In the beginning of my school, I was like, you know, I'm going to tone it down just a little bit. So I didn't wear any makeup, I didn't wear any nail polish or anything, I was just myself. Then after a week, I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna be me, I'm not gonna hide myself, I don't have to be afraid of these people. And then as I walked into school, I noticed people staring at me the entire time, and I was like, okay, this is weird. Then at some point, because it was in a big building, we got to the floor where our studies were given. And I got there, and the first thing I heard was someone shouting from the other side of the hallway to me, it was Conquer Homo.
Oh, wow.
And I was standing there like, you're a fucking social worker? Are you for real? Kind of let it slide, kind of was like, okay, you know what, fuck that. So we went into class, and that day we had ontwikkelingspsychologie, which is it's about how people develop themselves from like when you're a baby till they die, basically. And at some point we started talking. We started talking about trans people and about how they were a thing. And then one of my classmates stood up, and he was like, "I don't believe in transgendered people. They don't exist. They are not a thing." And my teacher just looked at him and was like, "Okay, what should I say?" In that moment, I stood up, looked at him, and I was like, "I have best friends who are trans. I am non-binary myself. Yesterday I fucked a person who was trans. I mean, you want to say I'm lying about all of this?" And well, at first my teacher was like, "Bo, you can't say shit like that." And I was like, "Shut up. Like, no, this person is not gonna let me feel like I don't exist in a place where you study fucking social work. I mean, these people are probably gonna help people that are gay, people that are trans, any other minority people. You cannot accept it that people say shit like this." And I'm 3 years further now in my studies. I'm in my final year, and it still happens on a daily basis that people either don't want to work with me because I'm queer, that people don't want to talk about queer issues, that people don't want to talk about anything queer related, not even if it's a positive thing. It even got to a point where I went to the head of school and talked with him, and was like, "Yo, I'm thinking about quitting because I don't feel safe in school. I am afraid that people will either attack me or do shit towards me which will make me feel uncomfortable or scared in school. I've had people threaten me in school saying that they were gonna wait for me after school and have a really nice talk. Nice. And I went there, and at first he was like, "Well, you know, if you want to leave, you're gonna leave." And I was like, "Well, I'm not about to throw 3 years of my fucking life away because you say I should leave. Like, this is not the reaction you should give me."
I was 12 when I first already felt that there's something different. And because of Aruba, the society is a very, like, you have the man role and the female role. You should be a certain way if you're a man, and a certain way if you're a woman. Well, I didn't fit in. I didn't fit in at all. Because when you're 12, you're supposed to be wearing makeup. Okay, so you've seen me. This didn't change. And my crowd, everybody around in school, was telling me, "Why are you so different? Why do you dress like that?" But you asked. The question is still till the day of today. So I was 12. I came back to my primary school because they really saw me as a star. Like I was being really good from a lower income village. And the first things that were shouted at me, because I was dressed like a boy, probably, I didn't even was so much aware, was machoro. That word is like yelling kanker homo. It hurts. And still, till the day, when I come to Aruba visiting every year, I hope to see my parents. That's a lot of time I get the greet, like, "Oh yeah, you're homachoro, right? Yeah. I'm like, but you don't know what you're saying. Why is that so important? Why do I have to identify myself as a sexuality?" That's the first thing that they ask. Because I do not fit the profile of a female in the community of Aruba. So when I was in high school, I did study social work, so I'm shocked also by what thank you for sharing. Then I got exposed. When I was 15, I had my first girlfriend. I didn't even know what homosexuality was. Nobody was talking about it. They only said, "Pray, Joyce, pray." Because it's the devil, it's this, it's that.
Oh, yes.
Right, okay. I prayed. Listen, Deborah, I'm telling you to this panel, I prayed because I love the religion, Christianity, but they make it so hard because they judge. And I talked to the pastor. The pastor was like, "Joyce, come here. Like, why are you so different? Why don't you just be normal?" And I was playing in a gospel choir. I love music, by the way. So I was like playing my guitar, and I'm like, "Oh, this man, why doesn't he understand me?" I'm like, "But God doesn't judge, right?" Yeah, but you have to read the Bible, blah, blah, blah. Okay, fine.
So anyway, I did like really want this girl. I really love her to the day of the day. My first love, and then they exposed me in high school. And then they were screaming from the hallway. From any time I was just setting up, you hear them whisper. You just hear it, you felt it. It was like, there she is, And my parents had a very hard time accepting because of that. My mom especially was very afraid of my well-being because they were very aggressive with words. But she was very afraid that it would come by the house and start throwing stones. Because you hear these testimonies on Aruba, on Curaçao. You have a lot of things happening in the Caribbean that I hope people will speak out for. So for me, it took a while for me to speak out now, because I really wanted to not fit, I wanted to blend in. I didn't want to notice, so I prayed every day, God, why am I gay? And then I had some youngsters around me, and they were telling me, but why aren't you proud? Because they were 10 years younger than me. Why aren't you proud? It's okay now everybody's more accepting. I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah, but I'm like, because I felt that I wasn't, like the question was every time, like even I finished social work, I have a nice job, whatever, didn't matter. So when I came on Aruba, it was like, my aunts would tell me, I pray for you, Joyce. I hope the prince on the white horse will come.
Like 2 years ago, I went to Rosa Kwaku. Rosa Kwaku changed everything. And I'm getting emotional. But hearing those stories is still like, it does things to people, because we all, as people who we want to be, we want to be ourselves. And to hear every time it's not accepted, it's not okay, you are not okay because you're not normal, you don't belong. And we live in Holland, a country that says like everybody's welcome and everything is possible. And you hear the stories to be at school and to be called out. We are still in danger for being ourselves. And that's just, it's like it sinks in. And because I'm for myself also coming to terms with being part of the community, because people like, oh, the boy is not part of the community, is she? Did like deny me being part of it, because I'm not openly talking about it.
Intermezzo. I thought today we had to have something special, extra special. We opened up with spoken word, then we had the talk, and now we're going to listen to the voice of an angel. Yes, that's my friends. Like I have a lot of friends, we also talented, yes. Also in the great community, the black community, we have so much talent, yes.
While politicians, they sharpen their knife, folks are led to believe that it was the only thing left to buy. Looking everywhere, never once looked inside, while all we held dear is about to die. You see, there's still no solution to face the air pollution, still no reparations for all the crippled nations. If we can't have our way, make sure that the world's afraid. It's time we stop and heal. But if there's time to spare and I can't go nowhere, you got some love to share and I can't catch no air. If there is room to, would you help me clear the air?
You can also leave your testimony, maybe a little one. You want to share something with us? So I want to open the floors for the first reaction, what you think otherwise of the conversation.
Als ik zo naar jullie verhalen hoor, maakt het me aan de ene kant heel boos dat we hier in Nederland wonen en dat er zulke mensen op jullie reageren. Ik word er heel emotioneel van en ik hoop dat het voor in de toekomst
dat mensen luisteren naar jullie stem, naar jullie verhaal. En dat ze ermee echt mee wat gaan doen.
I'm white and I'm part of the TI community, but still I feel I'm sometimes red like now. And I was wondering what kind of advice the panel members have for me in being a partner in their striving.
Advice do you have for an ally, a white female, also part of the queer community ally? What do you advise them to do? What can their part be?
To speak up, to address these subjects about white supremacy, racism, arbeidsdiscriminatie, Zwarte Piet, whatever, in your environment, in your workplace, in your with your family, your friends, your white family and your white friends. I think that's a good start, and we can talk about it. We do talk about it, but I think it's good that allies also keep the conversation going in their own omgeving. How do you say that?
Community
Yes.
circle, yeah. Okay. Bo?
I also think it's important to realize to not try and steal the voice of black people or other people of color when you're in their space. Don't make you being an activist about the fact that you're an activist. Make it about that you're helping the other people.
So when we talk about being an ally and allyship, I think the conversation, but mostly the actions, need to shift from being an ally to being an accomplice. So it's about actively fighting the dynamics that affect people of color and therefore also affect white people. The actively fighting against the dynamics that affect queer people and therefore also affect non-queer people because we're all connected. So I'd like to ask everyone who considers themselves to be an ally to shift to being an accomplice, and in the choices you make, move from that perspective, because that way you can give meaning to the struggle for yourself without having marginalized communities having to communicate what is necessary, but because you are also a part of it and it also does affect everyone. So I think that's the one important thing. Also, because I got notes. Things I noticed, and I noticed a lot of times, is that when we're talking about microaggressions, racism, whatever happens, that a lot of people tend to say, yeah, you know, it could be this or that or whatever, or it's not factual. And I would like to invite everyone to, you know, to open up to accepting those emotions. And because feelings are also real, you don't need to have a specific example of, okay, that person said something to me and it was very blatant, it was racist, it was homophobic, it was transphobic. No, you can also have a feeling and acknowledge those feelings, because what I see is that often queer people, especially queer people of color, black queer people, are the first ones to dismiss their own feelings. And in doing so, we also tend to dismiss the feelings of our brothers, sisters, siblings in the community. So that's one thing. And then the last one, because I also feel a lot of times the focus is put on migrant communities when we're talking about violence based on sexual or gender diversity. And it always kind of makes me cringe, because it is true, it does happen, because we've all experienced it, but also it's also reproducing the same dynamic and the same conversation that is going on within this, yeah, I see you, Bo, because we've been talking about this. It's reproducing the same dynamic that we see all around us in this world, that black people and queer people of color specifically, are blamed for everything even though there are statistics that show that the overwhelming majority of violence against queer people is perpetrated by native white Dutch people. So what y'all talking about, boo?
Je moet juist wel kleur zien en erkennen. En ik ben het mee eens dat we allemaal mensen zijn. Maar als je dat niet erkent, dan kunnen we elkaars verschillen ook niet begrijpen om zo dan samen te gaan.
Yes. Community. But I think it's important also for me, very important, is to create this for the Black community because there are not a lot of spaces where we can just be and be safe and feel safe and to be part of this, to create this evening, this magic. I want to thank all of you for also granting me the opportunity to do this. So thank you very much.
Confirmed that this is the path I need to walk. A month away to we going forward, onwards, upwards, more.